Good morning, everyone. Thanks, everyone, for joining us. I'm Nicole Arth Van Alstine. I'm the interim executive director at the Fulton Montgomery Regional Chamber of Commerce. We're excited to bring back our virtual lunch and learns. This is a kickoff to the first one of the quarter. We're excited to have with us a multitude of people, including the Reis Group. I'm going to go ahead and introduce Chad. If you want to get this started.
Will do. Thanks, Nicole. My name's Chad Granger. I'm Vice President of Employee Benefits at the Reis Group. I have a few guests with me. He'll be speaking further on down in the presentation this afternoon. Tom Flavin is from GIS Benefits, so he provides a lot of technical support and makes kind of the magic happen behind the scenes. And he'll join us with some comments a little later. And then Tim Beednell is the CEO of Recalibrate Human Capital Management. We work closely together. In fact, we're in the same office. He's just down the hall from me. And we will address benefits and how they can really assist, or I'm sorry, payroll and how they can really assist with your overall benefits integrations. So just a few words on the Reis Group. We're a local regional insurance agency handling commercial property and casualty employee benefits and personal lines of coverage. We have about 6 offices around the capital region and the Mid-Hudson. And we believe in developing relationships with our clients, serving them well, and avoiding kind of the corporate insurance feel of maybe some of our larger national competitors. I'm going to focus specifically on websurance this afternoon. So we'll just nice. So as you know, technology is making new words. And so when you take technology and insurance and put it together, you get websurance. Websurance is a large national trust which has thousands of small businesses across the country that can buy into a large pool of insurance. It's a platform and it's backed by MetLife products. So MetLife is the insurance carrier that provides these products through websurance. And I'll touch on why how easy it is to use and how quick you can get enrolled. And I'll have Tom jump in at the end here to kind of walk through that, go through the logistics. But as I mentioned, it's a fully insured national benefits trust, so it's across the country. It's a very large pool of membership when you look at all the other small businesses that are in that pool. One of the advantages of doing that is looking at you no longer as just a small group, maybe with 5, 10, 15 employees, but now you're really looked at as one large group, and therefore you can get better benefits at lower rates. A lot of the benefits that are available through websurance, which I'll touch on in a few moments, are going to be benefits that you could not generally get as a small group on your own in the marketplace. So benefits are going to be richer, more along the lines of what you see with large companies. There's also no underwriting requirements. There's no waiting periods. So when you enroll in a plan, you don't have to wait for the benefits to kick in. There's no pre-existing conditions. There's no participation requirements. So you really benefit in every way in getting your ancillary lines of coverage through websurance. And not only that, as a small employer, you may find it difficult because of participation requirements, perhaps, to offer a full suite of benefits. Through websurance, you're not only able to get dental and vision, but you're able to get basic life, supplemental, voluntary life, so employees can buy up to a better benefit to suit their own family's needs, short and long-term disability, and then the supplemental lines of coverage that you're probably familiar with, critical illness, accident, and hospital indemnity. You're also able to get legal benefits by investing in that, where you can have access to a team of lawyers for many common uses that you might have for them, and then identity theft protection, which is a benefit that is growing in popularity simply because if you've paid attention, or maybe you've even gotten a letter from your credit card company or your insurance carrier, or what have you, where there's been some kind of breach of confidentiality. ID theft protection has grown in popularity for large and small groups. So the nice thing about these is they're set plan designs, there are set rates, and each group is billed individually. So this is a plan that is available to your business and your W-2 employees. So just to go through some of the plan design options, I certainly don't want to go through any technical benefits in percentages that will mean nothing to you, after the call, but just did want to touch on a few of the dental options available through MetLife. You're generally going to have 6 plan options. They vary by in and out of network benefits and maximum dollar amount that's paid out per plan year. You can enroll in these plans at any time during the year, just so you know. So you kind of think of it like you can jump in the pool anytime. The plans do run on a calendar year basis, so renewal will take place January 1, following whenever you do come in, and then it will run on a calendar year basis thereafter. So just keep that in mind when it comes to deductibles and so forth. These plans have small deductibles, but the annual maximum benefit for dental will range from $1,000 to $2,500 in these plan options. If you've seen dental plan benefits before, these would match up with what you commonly are used to seeing: 100% coverage for preventative care, 80% for fillings and x-rays and so forth. And then for the more major restorative services like root canal or crowns, it's going to cover 50% up to the dollar maximum on the option that you choose. There's also the option to choose orthopedia coverage. So there's a maximum per cover dependent per lifetime, and it ranges from 1,000, can be 1,500. And again, those are other ones that where you'll have some various options there. And then the out-of-network benefits. The out-of-network benefits, so MetLife has quite a large dental network, but if you were to go out of the network, let's say you had a dentist that doesn't take any insurance, it will cover 100% in some of these options for what they would cover in the network. So you may receive a small balance bill from a provider if you go out of the network. And then there's other options that cover at 90th percentile of what's considered reasonable and customary. And these are the 6 benefit options that you would typically see on the portal for you to decide on. One thing here on option 5, if you wanted to not have major coverage, you just want to have preventative and x-rays and so forth, you can leave that out, lower your cost, and have an annual maximum a little higher of $2,000 on the dental plans. So that's just a brief rundown of the dental. As far as giving you more overview of the other plan options that are available, of course, there is basic life, which is an employer paid benefit for a few dollars a month for each employee, and the options range from $15,000 up to 2 times their salary at $200,000 guaranteed issue, which is unheard of in the small group market. So there's no medical questionnaire, there's no medical exam. You can get up to $200,000 on a basic life policy guaranteed. There's also supplemental life. So if your employees wanted to buy up in $10,000 increments up to a maximum of $400,000, but still there's a guarantee issue of $150,000 before they would have to fill out a medical survey or a questionnaire or have a medical exam. So those benefit levels are quite high for the small group market when you can do it all the way down to one person. Of course, there's spousal coverage and coverage for children on the life insurance, and there's no age reduction. So if you're familiar with group term life, once you hit age 65, usually the benefit goes down to 65% of what it was before you were 65. So another advantage on the group term life through that life. There is short and long-term disability. So there's an employer paid options, and you see those there. There's also voluntary options where your employee can choose to pay a little more to get extended voluntary short or long-term disability coverage as well. There are 2 vision plans with MetLife that are offered through WebSurance. The main difference between the 2 is really the coverages are very much the same. It's just one runs on a 12-month cycle. So the benefit for eye exams, glasses, and frames is every 12 months with a small copay, or every 24 months. And obviously 24-month one will get your cost down a little bit. And then as far as just the general overview of the benefits, before I turn things over to Tom, talk a little bit about the logistics. You can get that legal coverage I mentioned. You can get the identity theft protection. If you wanted to supplement, or the employee wanted to supplement any of these benefits, critical illness, maybe because they have a family history of cancer, they want to have an accident policy in place, or hospital indemnity for an unexpected long-term hospitalization, all of that is available for quoting and enrollment through WebSurance's portal. And with that, unless there's any questions, I'll turn things over to Tom to just talk about the quoting, enrollment, and logistics.
Yep. Thanks, Shad. So I want to talk briefly just about the process of how you're getting set up and enrolled with the groups. So what we do is the group will reach out to us via email. I'll go back to the chamber, make sure the member's in good standing. And once that's confirmed, I'll reach back out to the business owner and we'll just set up a brief meeting. And then I'll go through WebSurance with them. Right there and then, if I'm supplied an enrollment census, I could show them all options of what Chad just went over. If there was no enrollment census, I just can't show them life and disability at that time. But with the whole process is super seamless, super short. I could actually quote in real time and show them everything. It's all zip code based, so it's super simple information we need to plug in to get those rates for the group. Other than that, the business owner would just sign off from the WebSurance email, and then just a final enrollment census will have to take place, and then that's it. You're fully enrolled.
Yeah, and one of the beauties of it is you can quote and enroll within 15 or 20 minutes.
Yep.
And it's all done online. So nice and easy. Thanks, Tom.
Yep.
And with that, I'll turn things over to Tim Beednell. As far as working with a local company that serves their clients well, I'll turn over to Tim and talk a little bit about Recalibrate.
Thanks, Chad. Appreciate it. We'll go from insurance to payroll, so I'll try to make it as exciting as possible. But yeah, just really more share my story to the group, the board members, and then obviously if anybody who's watching the recording. Benefits and payroll sometimes go hand in hand. So Chad and I work very closely together. He mentioned we have a lot of mutual clients, but even in the same office. But Recalibrate HCM, just think of that in terms, payroll, HR software. Think of the big box companies out there, Paychex, ADP, pay this, pay that. We do everything that any of those companies could do. I'd argue our software is even more improved. And that's kind of a backdrop of what human capital management is, from hire to retire, right? The software could handle from how do you attract your employees with applicant tracking software to how are you going to onboard them? How are you going to track their time? How are you going to track their certifications, licenses? That's an HR software database, to payroll and the like. So it's very robust software, but I'll use that as a backdrop and just, quickly just share the story about who we are, what we do, and just why we're different. Because I think that's probably what most resonates with people, especially locally. Some chamber members are going to be small to mid-sized businesses. That's who we cater to. So I have clients with, one employee, two employees, to clients with 300 plus employees and anywhere in between. And we've grown very quickly. My background, I've been in payroll for over 15 years. I ran a much larger firm where Chad and I actually were at with, we had 22,000 clients, grew to the largest privately owned payroll provider in the country, helped scale it from 22 million in revenue to 82 million in revenue. And so that's all being said with myself and my team have extensive background in this space. But in 2020, what I really saw is, every company either started taking private equity money, right, or was publicly traded. So you have Paychex, ADP, you have pay this, pay that, and service really, really went downhill. I think that could be said for a lot of industries post 2020 and COVID, and in this new age, I think it's gotten even more challenging, I'll say, right? So if your first line of defense is AI chatbots, outsourced call centers to India and Pakistan, which has become more the norm, what I tell people is we're literally going in the opposite direction of the market. And so I'm betting against the market. And so far, so good. We've been in business for 2.5 years and we've grown organically. We brought on roughly 250 clients even in our first 18 months. And most of that is just word of mouth and people who know us in the industry, our background, but just happy current clients referring other happy current clients. Don't market and advertise like the big box do. But so when I say opposite direction, every client gets a dedicated service representative. Okay. well, why is your service so much better? The average tenure in my team is 20 years in the industry. It's a completely different model, right? So you're dealing with people who a direct point of contact who actually know payroll, know HR software, no taxes, no questions, no inside and out, as opposed to calling a call center where, quite frankly, or talking to a robot. And I think that story, and that's why I'm sharing it, has resonated with a lot of businesses. When it comes to payroll and compliance, there's a lot of complexity, and people want to, one, talk to a human still, and two, talk to a human who actually knows what they're talking about. Right. So service. This is, we licensed what's called the iSolve, which is our actual tech stack and our platform, which I'd argue is more robust than even, a company like an ADP or Paychex with 800,000 plus clients. So if you can combine actually great service and double down on service with great software at a fair price, that's what everyone's looking for in this market. It's service and software, it's priced. So, I think of just specifically to chamber members. I had a small landscaping company, I think just the other day, has 2 employees, and he was shocked. He's like, why are you taking so much time with me? Right. It's like, because he was really green and needed to be educated. And I could think of probably some other chamber members that might need that help. And I said, because it doesn't matter. Every client is the same, because I don't know who you know. Right. And that's how we grow. Right. So happy current client. I just had recently a small, he owns a couple auto body shops, but he just referred me a client of 200 employees. Right. And that's a big deal. So you treat everybody the same. You service the heck out of people. I think the bar has become very low in service organizations, and we're raising the bar, and it gets traction. And that's how we've been able to organically grow. So, that's kind of my quick story before, everyone shuts this off and tunes me out. Really passionate about what we're doing. So just think of us. If you have one employee who needs outsourced payroll software to hundreds and hundreds and everywhere in between, we just want to be an option, and we want to educate. We want to consult. I see a lot of, there's a lot of rampant price gouging too in this industry, and people don't know what they don't know. So if you come to my house and quote me on like plumbing, I'm going to be like, what? I have no idea. But if you talk payroll, and I can tell you when you're getting hammered and in and outs, and do consulting with local businesses in the chamber. And we're local too, right? So I have an office in Latham with Chad. I have an office in Rochester, but I have employees throughout the country. I don't hire any sales rep locally. So it's literally me as the CEO and founder any business would get, because I'm so controlling, I guess, over building this brand in this market and in the right way, because it's my home area, right? So with that, I'll stop talking. Nicole, Chad, if I guess there's any questions from the chamber board or anyone on the line, we'd be happy to answer.
Yeah, and just want to say in conjunction with that, Tim, is we're trying to help our clients make their life easier so they can focus on their core business. So we want to see things like integrations if they can. Integration doesn't only have to be for large corporations. We want efficiency is one of the things that really drives savings in the small group market. So if you have under 100 employees, you have limitations about the benefits you can offer and controlling the cost. And one of the ways you can control cost is you drive efficiency, and you have multiple ways to offer your benefits. We hope these ancillary lines of coverage really help you enhance those lines of coverage so that you can attract and retain talent and compete in the labor marketplace. But that's just a quick, broad overview of the solutions that we can offer together if they work for you. And we're also happy to sit down with you and look at what you're doing today and see if there can be improvements made and costs saved, in any one of these areas.
Awesome. Thank you, all three of you, Chad, Tom, and Tim. We really appreciate it. This has been very informative, even for my staff here at the chamber, and I know it will be beneficial to all of our members. So thank you all very much.
Very welcome. Thanks, Nicole. Appreciate it.
Of course.
You guys.
Have a good day.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Take care.